Welcome back to the Screen Team. I'm Chris, and I'm being joined by Hardin. And Hardin and I are getting ready to review a movie that came out a while back, but it's still one of my favorites, and I'm curious to see if it's one of Hardin's favorites, too. The movie we're talking about is The Untouchables.
Right.
Elliot Ness. We got, who's the other guy?
Well, Al Capone.
Al Capone.
Is the main.
Capone, man, played by De Niro.
And that's great.
See, this is why I have you on the show, Hardin. So when I forget, you come in and save me.
Well, if I say the right thing, I do anyway. Yeah.
Now, did you ever watch the old Untouchables TV show?
You know, I don't think I've hardly ever seen it.
Yeah.
And so I can't really compare the two, but I've seen the movie. But now I almost want to go back and watch some of the show to see what it's like. I
remember watching like a little bit of it, but not enough to have like a full-on, diagnosis of whether the show was good or not.
Not at all.
So this one came out, I believe, in the late 1980s. Like you said, De Niro's in it. He plays a good bad guy.
Oh, I think so, no doubt.
He does, man. And we have Kevin Costner, who at that time he was the it thing. If there was a popular movie out, Kevin Costner was in it. He plays Elliot Ness in it. So, Untouchables, the movie. Do you like it, Hardin?
I like it, and I think it came out in '87. Seems like a new movie to me almost, but that is 31 years.
Yeah.
But it's got a good atmosphere. Now, it takes its time to develop, so it's not always going to be fast-paced.
Yeah.
It's a really good buddy movie. You have four guys coming together who wouldn't be buddies normally.
That's a good point.
And you have some really memorable scenes interspersed throughout it. Enough action, enough intrigue to keep it interesting, and some subtlety and some build-up.
Yeah.
So for me, it works well.
Do you have, you mentioned scenes. What are some of your favorite scenes in this movie?
Well, I'll go to the most noteworthy, I think, and I've learned more about it today, and that's the scene in a train station.
Yeah.
And Elliot and his remaining partner, but I don't want to say who, but that's kind of a spoiler. But his partner are waiting for the bad guys to come, and they're going to try to keep the book, rescue the bookkeeper and get some information, yada yada yada. But it's a scene in the steps, and it's just really intense, and it's a takeoff or a homage to a 1925 movie, Battleship Potemkin.
Was that a German film, or was it like a Russian film?
Russian film.
Yeah.
It's based on historical events, and you can go back and watch it, just that scene on YouTube. And it's
pretty similar. I saw it I had a film class in college, and I remember they showed it in college, and they're like, you might recognize this scene if you've seen The Untouchables.
Well, and when I got up this morning, I looked at the Google Doodle, and I clicked on it, and it said Sergei Eisenstein. I said, who's Sergei Eisenstein? Well, I clicked on it. He was the director of Battleship Potemkin.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, here it all ties in together. And when I was reading about Untouchables today, I hadn't realized ever that Ennio Morricone, who did The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and all those themes, wrote the musical theme.
And it's really iconic, man. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, so it has so many good things, and just watch the steps scene. You can watch the whole movie if you can, but if you just want to check out a couple scenes, you can find some of the excerpts. And I like where Kevin Costner, he's kind of green at the start, and he gradually gets smarter and tougher by the end.
And he gets that way with the help of Sean Connery's character, who, by the way, he won an Oscar for this film.
Okay, yeah.
And I like Sean Connery in this film. I like Sean Connery, but I like him in this film too. There's that famous scene where he agrees to help Elliot Ness, and he does it like in a church or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's basically saying to Elliot, how far are you going to go to get this thing done? And he's got that dialogue where he's like, if they bring a knife, you bring a gun.
Yeah.
If they take one of yours out, you put two in the morgue.
That's right. He said, you go at these people hard. And I liked when he was interviewing for other team members, and he wanted the two best shots.
Yeah.
And the first one, why did you join the police force? To protect and serve. No, why are you in the police? Well, I want to protect. Next.
Yeah.
And so the Andy Garcia character comes in. What's your name? George Stone. No, what's your real name before you changed it from your WAP name or whatever?
Yeah.
Well, you shut up, you stinking Irish pig. And then
they were hitting on each other's personal buttons there.
And Connery says, He'll do. I like him. So, yeah.
Yeah, Connery was so good in this film.
One of the highlights.
And we mentioned De Niro. De Niro he's the man in this film. He brings an intensity and a scariness to a pretty scary character.
Well, and I read a review said that that wasn't really a good historical portrayal of Capone.
Mm-hmm.
But how many movies are exact history?
Sure.
I mean, maybe Apollo 13 was close, but you watch these for dramatization, and Capone is scary. If you watch this whole movie and you're not scared of De Niro's portrayal of Capone, I don't know what's going on in your brain, because he's something else.
Well, you had mentioned historical accuracies. There's a lot in this film. There really is. There's the scene where Al Capone is on trial for tax fraud, tax evasion, and him and Elliot Ness have the scene at the very end of the trial. That never happened. They were never in the same courtroom together.
Well, right, But here again, if you want to see history, watch a documentary.
That's right, man. We want to be entertained.
Look at Quentin Tarantino's Alternate World. I mean,
that's true. That's true.
He picks history, but he does his take on it. So most movies, they're dramatizations. They draw from history. But if you want to see a good movie, this will entertain you, and you'll get a little bit of history, but mainly you'll get a lot of drama and some fun and. An overall good package.
Obviously, this film is a period piece having to do with events that happened in the 30s and stuff, and this movie was made in the late 1980s. Does this movie, in your opinion, does it still hold up here in 2018?
Well, I think it can. Here again, as I watched more of it recently, it does seem we like movies more and more that are fast-paced, and I love the Marvel movies. I love all the... And not that they don't have development. It may be a little slower than what some people want if you think of a gangster movie or an action movie. It's more of a buddy drama adventure movie. Yeah. But give it some time and really get hooked on the characters and the main scenes, and there will be some scenes that will just blow you away. It's besides what we mentioned.
It's true. Movie's called The Untouchables, stars Robert De Niro, stars Kevin Costner, Sean Connery, Andy Garcia. Very, very, very well-rounded cast, and it's a good movie too. So check it out, The Untouchables.
Right.
Hardin, thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate you. We got more reviews coming your way next, and remember, we want you to know before you go.